In a peaceful town nestled between rolling hills and lush greenery, there stood a small veterinary clinic that had become a beacon of hope for the local animals. The clinic was painted a cheerful shade of blue, with white shutters framing its windows. A wooden sign swung gently in the breeze, announcing its name, Happy Paws Veterinary Care. It was a small place, but to the animals and their owners, it held immense importance. Inside, the walls were adorned with pictures of happy pets and smiling faces of grateful pet owners. The waiting room was cozy, filled with soft chairs and the occasional squeak of toys shared by anxious dogs. On any given day, you could find cats lounging on the counter, dogs wagging their tails, and even a parrot chirping cheerfully from its perch. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. The atmosphere buzzed with warmth and compassion, thanks to the dedicated veterinarians and staff who worked tirelessly to provide the best care for their furry patients. Dr. Emily, the head veterinarian, was known for her gentle touch and kind heart. She had spent years building trust within the community, treating everything from minor scrapes to serious illnesses. Her love for animals was evident in every interaction she had. She would kneel down to speak softly to nervous pets, easing their fears as she examined them. Alongside her was Dr. Sam, a recent graduate with an infectious enthusiasm for his work. He admired Dr. Emily and learned from her wisdom daily. Together, they made a great team, often working late into the evening when emergencies arose. The clinic wasn't just a place for routine checkups. It was where many animals received second chances at life. The locals often described it as a sanctuary, a safe haven where all creatures great and small were treated with dignity and respect. As the sun rose each day, the clinic came alive with activity. Staff members moved about purposefully, preparing for their appointments and ensuring that everything was ready for whatever challenges the day might bring. The ringing phone and the sound of barking dogs filled the air as families brought in their beloved pets for checkups or treatments. One particular morning started like any other. Birds chirped outside while the town slowly awakened. Inside Happy Paws Veterinary Care, Dr. Emily was reviewing patient files when Dr. Sam stepped into her office with a cup of steaming coffee. "Morning? Ready for another busy day?" he asked with a grin. Dr. Emily smiled back. "Always. Let's hope we don't have too many emergencies today." Little did they know that fate had other plans. As midday approached, an unusual commotion began outside the clinic. Initially, it was just distant sounds, rustling leaves and hurried footsteps. But soon it escalated into something more alarming. A group of people gathered near the entrance, pointing and murmuring anxiously among themselves. Curious and concerned, Dr. Emily walked over to see what was happening. As she stepped outside, her heart sank at what she saw. An enormous shadow loomed at the edge of the clinic's parking lot. An elephant? A wounded elephant had appeared at their door. The sight was both astonishing and heart-wrenching. The majestic creature stood tall but looked weary and hurt. Its skin bore deep cuts and bruises as if it had been through a terrible ordeal. The crowd gasped collectively as they took in this unexpected visitor. With urgency coursing through her veins, Dr. Emily quickly called for Dr. Sam and the rest of the staff to join her outside. They needed to act fast. This animal needed help immediately. As they approached cautiously, trying not to startle the elephant further, they could see its large eyes filled with pain and fear. It shifted unsteadily on its feet before suddenly collapsing onto the ground right in front of them. The world around them seemed to freeze as everyone gasped in disbelief. In that moment, all thoughts of routine appointments faded away. Their focus shifted entirely to saving this magnificent creature lying helplessly at their doorstep. "Get the stretcher," Dr. Emily commanded firmly but calmly as she knelt beside the elephant's massive frame. Time was of the essence now. This wasn't just another day at Happy Paws. It was a call to action that would test their skills and resolve like never before. The morning sun shone brightly over Happy Paws veterinary care, and the gentle sounds of the town waking up filled the air. Dr. Emily and Dr. Sam were busy preparing for a busy day, filled with routine appointments, when an unexpected commotion outside caught their attention. The soft chatter of the waiting room faded into silence as the staff peeked through the windows to see what was happening. It was then that they first spotted it. A massive figure emerging from behind the trees lining the clinic's parking lot. The sight took everyone by surprise. It was an elephant. Large and grand, the creature moved slowly, but there was a noticeable heaviness to its steps. As it approached, concern rippled through the group of staff members gathered at the door. The elephant's skin was marred by deep cuts and patches of dried blood. With each step, it looked more exhausted, its ears drooping as if weighed down by not just its size, but also by its suffering. The crowd outside gasped collectively. Families with their pets, who had been waiting for checkups, were now frozen in shock at the scene unfolding before them. Dr. Emily quickly made her way to the door, followed closely by Dr. Sam and a few other staff members. The sight of such a majestic animal in pain tugged at their hearts, stirring both compassion and urgency within them. The crowd parted as they stepped forward, revealing more of the elephant's battered form. It seemed to be struggling just to stay on its feet. "Is it hurt?" whispered a child clinging to her mother's hand. "I think so," replied another person anxiously. "We need to help it." As Dr. Emily stepped closer, she noticed how wary the elephant appeared. Its eyes wide with fear, yet filled with an unmistakable trust toward those who approached. "We're here to help you," she murmured softly, trying to calm both the creature and herself. But as she got nearer, she felt her heart race. This was no ordinary patient. Dr. Sam stayed beside her, his bright smile replaced by a look of concern as he took in the situation before them. "What do we do?" he asked urgently. "We need to get closer but remain calm," Dr. Emily instructed, her voice steady despite her racing thoughts. "Stay behind me and keep talking softly." As they advanced cautiously toward the elephant, it swayed slightly on its feet, as if unsure whether to stand ground or flee from this unfamiliar place filled with strange faces. To Dr. Emily's horror and disbelief, before they could adjust their approach or prepare for what came next, the elephant shifted once more. With one last effort, it took a shaky step forward before collapsing onto its side right at their doorstep. Gasps filled the air again, this time mixed with cries of alarm, as people rushed forward in concern while keeping their distance instinctively from such a powerful animal in distress. Dr. Emily knelt beside the enormous creature immediately, while signaling for her team to grab whatever supplies they would need, a stretcher or blankets, anything that could help them start assessing this immense patient right away. "I need everyone's help," she called out firmly yet calmly, focusing on getting organized amidst chaos. "What if it doesn't want us near?" quivered one staff member standing nearby. "It's hurt. We have to do this. We can't let fear hold us back," Dr. Emily reassured them as adrenaline pumped through her veins. Now wasn't a moment for hesitation. As other veterinarians arrived at her side with supplies hastily gathered together, they worked quickly to set up a safe area around the wounded elephant. offering reassurance through comforting words and gentle movements, despite how drastically different this situation was from their usual appointments. Through all this turmoil, the anxious crowd gasping in disbelief and everything happening in front of them, it became clear that today would change everything for Happy Paw's veterinary care, as they learned how strong determination must be when faced with extraordinary circumstances that demanded more than routine care alone. With focused hearts and swift movements fueled by compassion and expertise, they prepared themselves for what lay ahead, saving this magnificent creature that had unexpectedly shown up at their door just moments ago, but had already captured all of their hearts entirely. Emily knelt beside the massive elephant sprawled across the ground, her heart racing as she quickly scanned for signs of serious injuries. The frightened animal's breathing was labored, and its eyes flickered with pain and confusion. "We need to assess its condition immediately," she called out, her voice cutting through the anxious murmurs of the crowd. Dr. Sam was already in motion, moving toward the clinic to grab supplies. His mind raced as he recalled his training, knowing that time was critical. "I'll get the sedatives and a stretcher," he shouted back, determination in his voice. As he darted into the clinic, Dr. Emily turned her attention to the other staff members who were still processing the chaos unfolding before them. "You, call animal control and notify the wildlife rescue team," she instructed a veterinary assistant named Mia, who stood frozen in shock. "We need backup if this elephant is wild or needs transport." Mia nodded quickly, snapping into action as she grabbed the phone and hurried to another room to make the call. Meanwhile, two other assistants moved closer to help Dr. Emily as they prepared for what lay ahead. "Keep talking to it," Emily urged her team, knowing that animals could sense fear. "Let it know we're here to help." One of the assistants, Jake, stepped forward hesitantly but held his ground. "You're going to be okay," he said softly, his voice shaky but sincere as he approached the elephant's large head. The gentle tone seemed to soothe the creature slightly as it shifted its gaze toward him. While Jake kept talking to the elephant, Dr. Emily began examining its massive body for wounds. She noticed several deep cuts along its side, with patches of dried blood matting its gray skin. "It looks like it has suffered some serious injuries," she observed aloud, her brow furrowing in concern. Just then, Dr. Sam burst back into the scene, carrying a stretcher and a small crate filled with supplies. "I've got everything we need. Let's move quickly," he urged as he set down the stretcher near where Dr. Emily was kneeling. As they worked together quickly, yet carefully, each veterinarian felt an overwhelming sense of urgency driving their actions. They needed to stabilize the elephant before it became too weak or panicked further. "Let's get it on the stretcher," Dr. Emily ordered decisively while pointing at a few nearby assistants. "We'll need to lift it gently from both sides." They all gathered around the elephant's body while maintaining a calm demeanor despite their racing hearts. With coordinated effort, they slid one side of the stretcher under the elephant while reassuring it with soft words and gentle pats. "On 3, Dr. Sam announced clearly to ensure everyone was synchronized in their actions. 1, 2, 3. With a unified effort, they hoisted the elephant onto the stretcher as delicately as possible while trying not to jolt its injured body more than necessary. The creature let out a low rumble that echoed through the parking lot, a sound filled with pain but also trust in those trying to help. "Okay, now let's move slowly," Dr. Emily instructed, her voice steady despite being surrounded by chaos. Adrenaline coursed through her veins as they transported their enormous patient into the clinic. Once inside, they carefully placed the stretcher down on soft padded mats designed for larger animals that had come through their doors before. though never anything quite like this. Dr. Emily quickly continued her assessment while directing her team to gather additional supplies, bandages, antiseptics, and whatever else might be needed for treatment. "Sam, I'll need you to prepare some sedatives," she instructed briskly as she noted how anxious and confused the elephant appeared even now within their safe walls. "I'm on it. Just give me a moment," Dr. Sam replied confidently. Every second felt crucial as he raced through memories of lessons learned during their training sessions. The other staff members moved swiftly but methodically under Dr. Emily's guidance. Teamwork was essential now, more than ever, as they united not only for this extraordinary patient, but also for each other amidst a whirlwind of emotions. A blend of fear and hope, intertwined with determination. Finally taking a deep breath before addressing her team again, Dr. Emily urged them along. "We have so much work ahead of us, but together we can save this amazing creature." With focused hearts charged with resolve and compassion guiding their every action, they knew this moment would forever change not only their day, but perhaps even their lives, testing both their skills and spirits in ways they had never imagined possible just hours before, when all seemed like an ordinary day at Happy Paws Veterinary Care. Once the elephant was carefully placed on the padded mat inside the clinic, Dr. Emily took a deep breath to steady her nerves before launching into a thorough examination. The room buzzed with tension as her team gathered around, prepared to assist in any way they could. The urgency of the situation hung heavily in the air, but Dr. Emily knew that focusing on the task at hand was crucial for the elephant's survival. "Let's start by assessing the wounds," she instructed, her voice firm but calm. "We need to identify how severe they are and prioritize treatment." Dr. Sam positioned himself at the elephant's front, gently lifting one of its massive ears to inspect it closely. "There's some swelling near the base," he noted, frowning as he observed a mottled area of skin that looked angry and red. "It might be infected." "Good catch," Dr. Emily replied as she moved toward the elephant's side, crouching down to examine a large gash that ran along its flank. The wound was deep and jagged, revealing raw flesh beneath layers of dirt and dried blood. "This injury looks like it could have been caused by a sharp object, maybe a fence or something similar." With gloved hands, she gently pressed around the edges of the wound, careful not to cause any additional pain. The elephant let out a low rumble, its large eyes filled with fear and confusion, but also trust in those caring for it. Dr. Emily spoke softly to it, hoping to provide some comfort during this painful assessment. "Stay calm. We're going to help you," she murmured as she motioned for staff members nearby. "Mia, can you get some antiseptic and clean gauze? We need to prepare this wound for treatment immediately." Mia quickly nodded and dashed off to gather supplies, while Jake remained by Dr. Emily's side, watching intently as she examined more of the elephant's body. Moving further back along its side, she spotted additional cuts. There were several smaller lacerations scattered across its hind legs as well. "Look here. These wounds are less severe but still need attention," Dr. Emily pointed out to Jake. "We can treat them with disinfectant and bandages once we've handled these bigger injuries first." Jake nodded and focused on how best he could assist his mentor. He had never worked on such a massive animal before, and he felt both nervous and excited by this unique challenge. As Mia returned with antiseptic wipes and gauze rolls, Dr. Emily took charge once again. "Okay, let's start cleaning this wound," she instructed firmly, while preparing to apply antiseptic around the large gash on the elephant's flank. Dr. Sam joined her on that side of the elephant as well, holding a flashlight so they could see better in case there were any hidden debris within the wound itself. Carefully dabbing away dirt with swabs soaked in antiseptic solution, they worked efficiently as a team. Mia applied clean gauze while Dr. Sam held the flashlight steady. "I think we should suture this one once it's cleaned up," Dr. Sam suggested thoughtfully as he examined how deep it was. "Yes," agreed Dr. Emily decisively, while assessing their limited options for anesthesia on such a large creature without causing further distress. This process would require delicate handling. After thoroughly cleaning the gash and bandaging it carefully with Mia's help, they moved on to address other areas needing attention. The swelling in its ear would also need treatment right away. "Let me check for any additional injuries," Jake offered bravely, stepping back in preparation for another round of examination, while remaining attentive to his mentor's instructions. As they continued examining various parts of the elephant's body together under Dr. Emily's guidance, concern turned into relief when they realized that none of the other wounds seemed life-threatening at first glance. However, healing would take time depending on how well they could manage infection from these cuts. Once all visible injuries had been documented and treated promptly with antiseptics or bandages where necessary, it became evident that their work didn't end here. Monitoring would remain critical moving forward. Dr. Emily took another moment amidst this whirlwind of activity filled with newfound hope. This beautiful creature is going through so much right now. Let's ensure we give our best effort every step along this journey. With renewed determination etched across each member's face surrounding her, the team knew they needed resilience just as much as skill if they were going to navigate what lay ahead in restoring health for their extraordinary patient. As the team continued their examination, a sense of urgency enveloped the room. Dr. Emily could feel the weight of time pressing down on them. They needed to stabilize the elephant quickly before its condition worsened. The anxious breaths of the staff filled the air, mixing with the soft rumble of the elephant as it lay on the padded mat, seeming to sense the tension around it. "Let's speed this up," Dr. Sam urged as he prepared a sedative, his hands moving swiftly yet carefully to ensure each step was done correctly. "We don't know how long it can hold on like this." Dr. Emily nodded in agreement and raised her voice to rally her team. "Everyone, we need to be focused and work together. Let's set up for suturing and make sure we have everything we need at hand." Mia quickly organized supplies, while Jake assisted Dr. Sam, holding the flashlight steady as he prepared to administer anesthesia. They all understood that time was of the essence. Every second that passed felt like an eternity. The elephant's breathing grew more labored, and worry gripped Dr. Emily's heart as she watched for any signs that things were taking a turn for the worse. She needed to keep everyone calm, but it wasn't easy with such enormous stakes hanging over them. "Okay, Jake. Be ready to help me stabilize its head once I administer the sedative," Dr. Emily instructed him. "We don't want it moving around too much while we're working on those deeper wounds." Jake swallowed hard but nodded resolutely, knowing how much their patient depended on their every move. He stepped forward next to the elephant's large head and gently placed a hand on its cheek, hoping his presence would calm the creature. "Ready?" Dr. Sam asked as he approached with a syringe filled with sedative. "Ready?" Jake replied, his voice steady despite his nerves. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, Dr. Sam injected the sedative into a vein on the elephant's ear and watched closely for a reaction. Moments felt like hours as everyone held their breath in anticipation, praying that it would take effect quickly. As they watched, the elephant's body relaxed slightly, and its breathing steadied, offering hope that they could proceed without further agitation. "It's working," Sam announced with relief. "Great, let's move quickly now," Dr. Emily urged, feeling invigorated by this small victory even amidst the chaos around them. Once they confirmed that the sedative was effective enough for them to begin work safely, She gathered her tools and prepared to start suturing the largest wound on its flank. "Sam, can you assist with holding this area still? We need solid pressure while we suture." "Absolutely," he responded confidently as he positioned himself at her side once again. With precise care, they began stitching together the jagged edges of flesh, while Mia and Jake worked diligently to apply antiseptic and dress other smaller wounds nearby. Each moment demanded meticulous attention. One wrong move could jeopardize their efforts. As Dr. Emily sliced through the thick skin with surgical precision, beads of sweat formed on her brow, a mixture of exertion and anxiety about keeping their patient stable as they worked quickly but carefully. "Don't forget to check for any signs of infection while cleaning these smaller ones," she reminded Mia, who was diligently applying antiseptic elsewhere on the elephant's body. "I'm on it," Mia replied, her focus unwavering as she made sure every wound received proper care before it was bandaged up. Time seemed to blur as minutes stretched into what felt like an eternity. Voices became more urgent within that small room as they worked tirelessly as a well-oiled machine. A team focused solely on saving this magnificent creature before them. Determination fueled their actions. Each sutured stitch brought them closer to stabilizing their patient while reminding them why they chose this profession in the first place: to preserve life and ease suffering in creatures that couldn't save themselves. Finally finishing up their sutures after what felt like hours spent in frantic action, Dr. Emily stepped back momentarily to catch her breath and survey their handiwork collectively achieved amidst urgency born from desperation itself. "Good job, everyone. We did it," she exclaimed breathlessly, yet filled with pride as she met each team member's gaze of exhilaration mixed with exhaustion, but also relief. The elephant lay more peacefully now, despite still needing ongoing support for recovery ahead. It had survived this initial crisis, thanks to their combined teamwork and swift efforts throughout this race against time. With renewed purpose evident behind tired eyes, as they took a collective breath together, there remained so much work still ahead. But for now, an overwhelming sense of accomplishment filled Happy Paw's veterinary care. Each member of this remarkable team knew they had fought valiantly for life today. As the team continued their work, Dr. Emily's mind drifted momentarily from the task at hand to the life of the elephant now resting under their care. She couldn't help but wonder how it had ended up in such a dire situation. This majestic creature carried stories within its ancient eyes, stories of both struggle and resilience. The elephant, named Lila, was originally part of a small wildlife sanctuary located a few hundred miles away from the town. Nestled deep in a forested area, the sanctuary was dedicated to rescuing and rehabilitating animals in need, often taking in those who had been injured or orphaned due to poaching or habitat loss. In particular, Lila had found refuge there after being rescued from a circus where she endured years of harsh conditions and mistreatment. Dr. Emily remembered seeing footage on the news about a massive crackdown on illegal animal trafficking that took place a year ago. Lila had been one of the lucky ones when authorities dismantled the circus's operations, allowing her and several other animals to escape a life of confinement. Over time, she flourished within the sanctuary, embraced by a loving team committed to restoring her health and spirit. The staff worked hard to help her regain trust in humans, providing care and affection that Lila had long been denied. Just last month, Lila had been featured in a local documentary highlighting her journey from captivity to recovery. Viewers saw her playful nature as she splashed water with her trunk and enjoyed the company of other elephants. The community had rallied behind her cause, raising awareness about animal welfare and supporting the sanctuary's efforts to protect wildlife. Yet, tragedy struck when unrest in the region led to increased tensions around the sanctuary. Encroaching development threatened the land where Lila once roamed freely with her fellow rescues. Reports of poaching resurfaced as desperate individuals sought ways to profit from endangered species. On that fateful day, Lila had wandered into the outskirts of their protected area during her usual exploration. It was then that she became caught in a trap meant for smaller animals laid by poachers seeking easy prey. The panic from being ensnared sent her fleeing into dense brush and ultimately toward the nearby town, away from safety, but toward a hope for help. Her wounds, the deep gash along her flank and bruises on her legs, spoke volumes of her struggle to escape danger. Dr. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just an accident. It felt like a testament to Lila's indomitable spirit, a spirit that refused to be broken by man's greed and cruelty. As she stitched up the elephant's gashes, she thought of all that Lila had endured before arriving at Happy Paw's veterinary care. It filled Dr. Emily with both sadness and resolve. They were not only treating an injured animal, but also helping heal scars left by humankind. "Lila," she whispered softly into the calm room while looking down at the creature now resting peacefully on the padded mat. "You are safe here now." Imagining what Lila must have experienced filled Dr. Emily with compassion for this amazing being who had fought through so much adversity, yet still retained trust in people after everything it had faced. It became a driving force for not just herself, but for every member of her team. This wasn't merely about healing physical wounds. It became about restoring hope and dignity for an incredible animal who only wanted to live free and well. As Dr. Sam sutured nearby cuts with increasingly careful precision, he too began thinking about Lila's story, the pain she must have felt during all those difficult moments, and how they were now part of her journey toward healing. "Let's make sure we get this right," he said determinedly while working beside Dr. Emily. With renewed focus pulsing through them as they continued their work on Lila, it became clear they would not only do their best to save this magnificent creature, they would make sure her future remained bright, free to roam once more as she deserved. The bond forming between them throughout this ordeal began transcending mere care. It transformed into something greater. A promise made among compassionate hearts united for one noble purpose: giving voice back to those who could not speak for themselves, while cultivating awareness of resilience found among creatures like Lila, waiting for another chance at life. As news of Lila's arrival spread through the small town, a wave of compassion washed over the community. Local residents and animal lovers alike felt compelled to offer their support to Happy Paw's veterinary care. What began as a single elephant in need quickly transformed into a collective effort to ensure her recovery. Within hours of Lila collapsing at the clinic, people began gathering outside. Families arrived with children in tow, their faces filled with concern and curiosity. Some carried handmade signs reading, "We love Lila," while others brought treats and donations for both the elephant and the veterinary team. The atmosphere buzzed with an undercurrent of hope and solidarity, creating a sense of unity that transcended the usual hustle and bustle of daily life. Dr. Emily stepped outside for a moment, wiping her brow as she took in the sight of the crowd. She felt a swell of gratitude as she observed families chatting with one another, sharing stories about their own pets and experiences with animals in need. It was heartwarming to see such a diverse group come together for a common cause, all drawn by their love for animals. "Thank you all for being here," she called out, her voice cutting through the chatter. "Your support means the world to us and to Lila." A woman in the front of the crowd raised her hand. "What can we do to help?" she asked, her eyes filled with determination. Dr. Emily smiled, appreciating the eagerness to assist. We're currently focused on treating Lila, but donations for her care are always welcome, she replied. We will also need volunteers for future fundraisers and awareness campaigns to help animals like her. As if on cue, a local bakery owner stepped forward carrying a large box filled with homemade dog treats and cookies. I've brought some goodies. Let's organize a bake sale to raise funds for Lila's care, she suggested enthusiastically. The crowd erupted in cheers, and soon people began brainstorming ideas for fundraising events. There were discussions about car washes, yard sales, and even a community picnic where all proceeds would go towards supporting the veterinary clinic and its mission. Meanwhile, others took it upon themselves to spread the word on social media. Local influencers shared posts about Lila's story, encouraging their followers to come together and support Happy Paws veterinary care. The hashtag #LoveForLila began trending, reaching far beyond their small town. As the day progressed, donations began pouring in. Not just money, but supplies too. A local pet store offered to provide food and bedding for Lila's recovery, while another shop donated blankets to keep her comfortable during her stay at the clinic. Vets from nearby clinics reached out offering assistance or supplies they could spare. Amidst all this activity, Dr. Sam stepped outside to help manage the flow of visitors. Let's set up a donation table here, he suggested to Dr. Emily as he gestured to an empty space near the entrance. That way, we can keep track of everything coming in and make sure each donation is acknowledged. As they gathered tables and supplies, Mia joined them with a clipboard in hand. I can help organize everything. I'll make sure we keep records of who donates and what we receive, she said eagerly, ready to contribute. With each passing hour, the crowd grew larger. It became more than just a gathering. It turned into a movement of kindness that enveloped Happy Paws veterinary care like a warm blanket. Children painted rocks with encouraging messages like, "Get well soon, Lila," while adults shared their own experiences of rescuing animals or caring for pets in distress. The camaraderie was palpable as laughter mingled with tears of empathy. It reminded everyone present that they were not just part of a community. They were part of something bigger than themselves. As evening approached, Dr. Emily stood outside watching the scene unfold. Families enjoying each other's company while working together for a common good. Her heart swelled with pride at the overwhelming support surrounding them. "Thank you all so much for your kindness," she said once again as she addressed the crowd, her voice thick with emotion. "Lila may be resting right now, but your compassion gives her and us so much hope." The night ended with plans set in motion for future events, aimed at raising awareness about animal welfare while benefiting Lila's care directly. It was clear that this wounded elephant had not only captured hearts, but had also ignited a spirit of community that would resonate long after she left their clinic. With renewed purpose filling every corner of Happy Paws veterinary care, the collective determination surged like electricity through those gathered there. They were committed to ensuring that Lila would not only survive, but thrive. Together as one compassionate family dedicated to healing those who could not heal themselves. The atmosphere inside Happy Paws veterinary care shifted dramatically as the hours passed. After the initial rush to stabilize Lila, the team settled into a routine of care, monitoring her closely while the community continued to rally around them. Dr. Emily felt a calm confidence wash over her. They were making progress, and the elephant seemed to be responding well to their treatments. However, just as she began to feel hopeful, everything changed. A sudden commotion broke through the clinic's calmness as Mia dashed into the room, wide-eyed and breathless. "Dr. Emily, something's wrong with Lila," she exclaimed anxiously. Dr. Emily's heart dropped as she rushed past Mia and entered the treatment area where Lila was resting. The scene before her sent a chill down her spine. The elephant's breathing had become rapid and shallow, its massive sides heaving in distress. Lila's large eyes, once filled with trust, now shimmered with sheer panic. "Get me a stethoscope," Dr. Emily called out urgently as she knelt beside Lila again, feeling an overwhelming sense of dread creep in. Something was clearly amiss. The steady progress they'd made suddenly felt precarious. As Dr. Sam joined her at Lila's side, he also noticed the change in her condition. He placed a comforting hand on Lila's neck while Dr. Emily listened closely for any abnormal sounds in her chest or lungs. What should have sounded steady now echoed with irregular wheezes that pierced through their growing fear. "We need to act fast," Dr. Sam stated firmly as he quickly assessed the situation alongside Dr. Emily. "It looks like this is getting serious. She could be showing signs of shock or internal bleeding. Grab those fluids. Start an IV immediately," Dr. Emily directed without hesitation. No time could be wasted now if they were going to save this beautiful creature. Jake and Mia scrambled into action, gathering supplies while trying to maintain calm within their own racing hearts. Every second felt critical. As they worked together amid hushed urgency enveloping them like fog, Dr. Emily couldn't shake the knot forming in her stomach. Visions of what could happen if they failed flickered through her mind, like shadows across a wall. With trembling fingers, she inserted the IV catheter into one of Lila's thick veins while avoiding any jerking or sudden movements that might startle her further. A feat not easy given their patient's size and vulnerability at this moment. Suddenly, there was another loud noise from outside. The crowd that had gathered was becoming restless, sensing something was awry inside the clinic, but unsure what it meant for their beloved elephant. "Stay focused," Dr. Sam urged gently yet firmly as he helped secure the IV line, while keeping an eye on Lila, who thrashed slightly from anxiety, mixed with pain coursing through every fiber of her being. The tension grew palpable. Mia glanced at Jake worriedly. They were all acutely aware that one misstep could lead to disaster when caring for someone so large and delicate at once. As IV fluids began flowing into Lila's system, slowly but steadily through quiet determination, each drop represented hope, a sign that perhaps they could reverse whatever distress had taken hold so unexpectedly during what had seemed like an otherwise successful recovery process thus far. Minutes felt like hours as everyone held their breath, watching closely for signs that she would stabilize once more. Pressing their palms together almost instinctively in prayerful unity against uncertain odds ahead, still lingering ominously above them all. "I think I see some improvement," Sam finally reported after what felt like an eternity spent observing carefully. Though hope flickered back in some small measure, it only brought more anxiety than relief just yet, until definitive signs appeared rather than mere wishes alone. A collective sigh escaped as all eyes remained glued on Lila, monitoring every slight shift or sound coming forth from their patient. Meant everything in moments like these when stakes ran high. The crowd gathered outside, exchanged worried glances, filled with concern over how this would play out, but unitedly wished nothing more than wellness returned soon for lovely friends who now needed each other most desperately. Finally, after minutes stretched endlessly into place, where seconds used to hold weight, the tension released enough for smiles cautiously resurfacing among staff present. It wasn't over yet, nor would it ever truly be until safety returned fully. But clarity mounted little by little amidst chaos, proving resilience still enduring even here today, within fragile lives clashing against greatest odds imaginable. In those heavy moments of uncertainty, the bond built between everyone grew firmer, A shared purpose emerged, uniting compassionate hearts, determined not only to restore life, but also dignity back towards creatures deserving better stories than those faced beforehand, forever. Waiting patiently toward brighter tomorrows, waiting quietly behind every corner, revealed along unseen paths ahead, toward healing itself, beginning anew altogether. With Lila's condition stabilized for the moment, the atmosphere in Happy Paw's veterinary care began to shift toward a cautious optimism. Dr. Emily and Dr. Sam exchanged determined glances, recognizing that this was not the end of their work, but rather a new beginning in their efforts to help the elephant recover fully. "Let's start with the fluids," Dr. Emily instructed as she monitored Lila's vital signs, which appeared to be improving ever so slightly. "We need to rehydrate her and keep a close eye on any symptoms of shock." Dr. Sam quickly adjusted the IV line, ensuring that the fluids flowed correctly into Lila's thick skin, all while keeping an eye on her demeanor. He felt a rush of adrenaline, knowing that every small action could lead to significant results in saving her life. As the team worked together with renewed purpose, Mia stepped forward with a fresh set of supplies. "I found some pain relief medication," she said, hoping it could help soothe Lila as they continued treatment. "Do you think it will help?" Dr. Emily nodded appreciatively. "Yes. Let's administer it carefully. We need her relaxed and calm while we tend to those wounds more thoroughly." With steady hands, Mia prepared the medication while Dr. Sam kept Lila company, whispering soothing words that seemed to output both compassion and care. The atmosphere in the room became charged with hope as they observed Lila's breathing becoming slower and more rhythmic after receiving fluids and pain relief medication. It felt like a sign that their hard work was finally paying off. "Let's take a closer look at those wounds again," Dr. Emily said as she gathered her tools for cleaning and suturing once more. She noticed how Lila's eyes had softened slightly, no longer filled with panic, but showing traces of trust instead. A small miracle in itself. Carefully, they began cleaning each wound with antiseptic wipes, while maintaining gentle communication throughout the process, a strategy they knew brought comfort to their patient. They took extra time around the larger gash on her flank, ensuring every last bit of debris was removed before moving forward with suturing. Dr. Sam remarked softly while working beside her, "It's incredible how much healing can happen when we give them love and support." His own hands moved deftly as he stitched up the injury carefully, each stitch a step towards restoring not just Lila's physical health, but also her spirit. Outside the clinic, voices from the crowd drifted in through open windows. People had begun sharing news about Lila's progress across social media platforms using "Love for Layla." It was heartwarming for everyone inside to realize that even in such difficult times, kindness resonated beyond their little sanctuary. A true testament to what community meant during moments like these. As days passed by, filled with routine checks on Lila's wounds, the determination among Dr. Emily's team only solidified further. They watched as she began engaging more with them again, curiously lifting her trunk or flicking her ears whenever someone entered the room. And those were signs of recovery, bringing boundless joy. On one particular afternoon, after administering another round of treatments, Dr. Emily stood observing quietly from afar as Mia played soft music nearby. She noticed little things changing within Lila. The way she seemed more at ease surrounded by familiar voices flowing around her created an aura of warmth, filling every nook of Happy Paw's veterinary care. "I think we need to try introducing some enrichment activities," Dr. Emily suggested one evening during a team meeting when discussing how best to motivate their patient further while recovering physically. "What do you have in mind?" asked Jake excitedly, his passion for animal behavior shining through. Maybe some toys or even food puzzles could engage her mentally. Elephants are incredibly intelligent creatures. They need stimulation beyond just medical care, replied Dr. Emily thoughtfully. That night marked another turning point. The entire team got creative brainstorming ideas about how they could cater specifically towards encouraging not only healing emotionally, but ensuring vitality responded positively surrounding happiness long term. In upcoming days leading into weeks, Lila took part in exercises designed around gentle play alongside exploratory experiences intended specially for elephants. Her trunk reached out joyously toward colorful hanging toys crafted from natural materials they sourced locally. Together, working diligently toward celebrating milestones along this remarkable journey ahead provided inspiration, fueling everyone involved profoundly. Even amid challenges yet encountered awaiting ahead, still lingering ominously above them. Through patience woven amongst acts committed shared purpose, all twined tightly together, it didn't just restore life. These moments cultivated connections shared between humans and animals alike. Breathing hope back into spaces once thought lost, dimly forgotten, somewhere behind shadows cast long across hearts, carrying burdens quietly, all waiting patiently behind unseen paths leading forth, illuminating brighter tomorrows, discovered time and time again amidst miracles unfolding each day anew. As the days turned into weeks at Happy Paws Veterinary Care, Lila's recovery journey began to unfold slowly yet steadily. Each morning, as the sun streamed through the clinic's windows, illuminating the room with warm light, a sense of hope filled the air. The veterinary team was committed to caring for Lila, and their bond with her deepened with every passing day. Dr. Emily and Dr. Sam worked diligently to monitor Lila's vital signs, ensuring that her heart rate remained steady and that she was responding well to treatments. The team established a routine that included regular checkups, hydration sessions with IV fluids, and medication administration. They found comfort in each other's presence during these intense moments, sharing hopeful glances as they witnessed Lila showing signs of improvement. The first significant milestone came when Lila began to move more freely within her enclosure. Once confined to lying down most of the time due to pain and discomfort, she started to shift her weight from one side to another, and even raised her trunk in curiosity whenever someone entered the room. This newfound movement sparked excitement among the staff. It was a sign that Lila was regaining her strength. With encouragement, Dr. Emily introduced gentle physical therapy exercises tailored for elephants. "Let's help her stretch out those legs a bit," she said one afternoon as Mia joined her with an armful of enrichment toys. Large balls and colorful ropes designed for playful engagement. Playing can be a big part of her recovery. Mia smiled brightly as she rolled one of the large balls toward Lila, who eyed it curiously at first before giving it a tentative nudge with her trunk. The slight smile on Mia's face reflected everyone's joy as they watched Lila begin to play, demonstrating both her growing strength and spirit. As their interactions became more playful, Dr. Sam often took time to sit beside Lila during these sessions, gently talking to her while she interacted with various toys. "You're doing so well, girl," he would say softly as he scratched behind her ear, an area elephants typically enjoy being touched. Each soft murmur and gentle gesture helped build trust between them. Inside the clinic walls, laughter and joy replaced some of the earlier tension. Small victories were celebrated daily, whether it was Lila moving around more or responding positively to treatment protocols set in place by the vet team. Each day brought new milestones, standing for longer periods on her feet, showing interest in food again, and even playfully tossing hay into the air as if celebrating newfound freedom. Outside of treatment sessions, community involvement also played a significant role in Lila's recovery journey. Families returned regularly to offer help. Children drew pictures of elephants and hung them up around the clinic for inspiration. They wanted Lila to know she was loved by more than just the staff, but by everyone in their town. One Saturday afternoon, as local volunteers organized an awareness picnic event outside Happy Paws Veterinary Care, the atmosphere crackled with excitement. The clinic's staff set up booths where they shared information about animal welfare initiatives, alongside fundraising efforts dedicated entirely toward Lila's care. As people gathered together, enjoying food and activities designed for all ages, Lila rested peacefully nearby. It was evident how much support surrounded this gentle giant. They shared moments reminding everyone present why compassion mattered so significantly, even in times of adversity like facing recovery journeys. With every minute spent nurturing not only physical healing but emotional connections building among each other, a transformation ignited through caring hearts. Lila became a symbol of resilience for many who witnessed her struggles firsthand. The gradual process soon revealed brighter tomorrows ahead, on paths once hidden behind uncertain shadows cast long over spirits burdened deeply down before. The warmth radiating from compassionate souls, evolving together, created ripples felt beyond simply saving lives. It became about restoring dignity back into precious creatures deserving far better than their pasts allowed. Through shared experiences built over countless hours spent caring together, their commitment united everyone somehow. Especially as each new day dawned, filled with renewed purpose, bringing forth extraordinary connections, breaking barriers formed along unseen avenues, leading toward brighter futures, waiting quietly amidst miracles unfolding every single day anew. As Lila continued to make remarkable strides in her recovery, the atmosphere at Happy Paws Veterinary Care transformed into one of celebration and joy. The once tense days filled with uncertainty had given way to a sense of hope and accomplishment as the elephant grew stronger and more vibrant. The community, too, felt the shift. They had witnessed Lila's journey and were eager to celebrate her healing. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon, the clinic staff organized a special event called Lila's Day. It was designed not only to celebrate the progress Lila had made, but also to raise awareness about animal welfare and the importance of compassion toward all living beings. Flyers were printed and distributed, inviting everyone in the town to come together for a day of fun and festivities. As the day approached, excitement buzzed through the community. Local businesses donated food, drinks, and supplies for activities. Families began to gather ideas on how they could contribute to the event. Children painted colorful signs that read, "Welcome back, Lila," and created decorations using bright colors and cheerful designs. There was a palpable sense of unity as people prepared to celebrate this remarkable creature who had touched their hearts. On the day of the celebration, Happy Paws Veterinary Care was buzzing with activity. The yard was transformed into a vibrant festival ground, adorned with balloons, streamers, and tables filled with crafts and snacks. A stage was set up where local musicians performed cheerful tunes that filled the air with music and laughter. Dr. Emily stood outside watching as families arrived, their faces lit up with joy. She felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. It was heartwarming to see so many people come together in support of Lila. As she glanced toward the elephant's enclosure, she spotted Lila playfully tossing hay into the air, her trunk moving with newfound energy, a clear sign of her improving health. "Look at her," Dr. Sam exclaimed beside Dr. Emily as they both admired Lila's playful antics. "She's really thriving now." "Yes, it's incredible how far she's come," Dr. Emily replied, her heart swelling with pride. "And it wouldn't have been possible without our amazing team and this supportive community." As the day went on, children participated in games that taught them about elephants and wildlife conservation, while adults engaged in discussions about animal welfare initiatives. Information booths educated visitors on how they could help support local wildlife rescues and continue advocating for animals in need. Throughout the festivities, moments of connection blossomed between people and Lila. Children laughing as they tossed oversized balls her way, while adults shared stories about their own animals or experiences with wildlife. It was clear that Lila had become not just a patient, but a beloved member of their community. In a heartfelt gesture, Dr. Emily took to the stage to address the crowd gathered before her. "Thank you all for coming today," she began, her voice filled with emotion. "Today isn't just about celebrating Lila's recovery. It's about recognizing the power we all hold when we come together as a community." The crowd erupted into applause, echoing their agreement as they cheered for both Lila and each other's efforts. "Your love and support have made all the difference in her journey," Dr. Emily continued. "Let us keep this spirit alive as we work towards protecting all creatures who need our help." Applause resonated again through the crowd as people exchanged glances that spoke volumes. Their commitment to kindness extended beyond this day alone. It ignited within them a passion for advocacy that would resonate long after festivities concluded. As twilight descended upon Happy Paws Veterinary Care, glowing lanterns illuminated the yard where laughter mingled with music. It felt like magic dancing in the air. Children chased each other while parents shared smiles, a beautiful reminder of what love can accomplish, even amidst life's struggles. Lila stood proudly within her enclosure, surrounded by twinkling lights and joyful faces. She embodied hope for everyone present, a living testament to resilience that inspired compassion among hearts drawn together unitedly once again. The celebration concluded with a collective vow to continue supporting animal welfare efforts together as one compassionate family devoted toward nurturing life, both human and animal alike, creating brighter futures amid challenges encountered along unseen paths waiting quietly ahead. In those moments, shared beneath shining stars, illuminating faces brightened through laughter. The bonds strengthened beyond words, spoken created ripples, transcending time itself, reminding all present they were indeed part of something extraordinary. A beautiful tapestry, woven from threads representing love, bound tightly around lives cherished together forevermore. As Lila's recovery journey drew to a close, the atmosphere at Happy Paws Veterinary Care was filled with hope and gratitude. The community had come together not just to support Lila, but also to reflect on the broader importance of animal welfare and the responsibility each person holds towards all living beings. Dr. Emily stood quietly in the clinic one afternoon, gazing at Lila as she grazed peacefully in her enclosure, now vibrant and full of life. It had been a long road filled with challenges, but witnessing Lila's transformation from a wounded creature in distress to a spirited elephant ready to thrive was nothing short of miraculous. "This is what it's all about," she thought to herself, the joy radiating from her heart. The journey had shown everyone involved just how interconnected their lives were with those of animals around them. From the moment Lila had stumbled into their lives, she had reminded them of the fragility of life and the urgent need for compassion. Each member of the veterinary team had felt this truth deeply, learning that their work went beyond simply treating injuries. It was about restoring dignity and offering second chances to those who could not advocate for themselves. In the weeks following Lila's Day celebration, Dr. Emily organized an open forum at the clinic where community members could come together to discuss animal welfare issues. She invited local speakers who had dedicated their lives to rescuing neglected or abused animals, hoping to inspire others to join the cause. As families gathered, Children shared stories about their pets and what they learned from caring for them. Adults discussed ways they could volunteer at shelters or support local wildlife conservation efforts. During the forum, one child raised a hand timidly, his eyes bright with curiosity. "Why do we need to help animals like Lila?" he asked innocently. The room fell silent as everyone turned their attention toward him, eager to hear the response. Dr. Emily smiled warmly at the boy. "That's an important question," she began thoughtfully. "Animals like Lila feel pain and joy just like we do. They depend on us to protect them and give them a voice when they cannot speak for themselves. When we choose kindness and take action, we can help create a world where every creature is treated with respect and love." Nods of agreement rippled through the audience as they absorbed her words. The conversation moved into practical actions that people could take, starting neighborhood watch programs for local wildlife, fostering pets from shelters, or organizing community cleanup days in habitats at risk. It became clear that everyone wanted to make a difference. They just needed a way forward. As discussions continued throughout the day, stories flowed freely about other animals in distress or how individuals had made an impact through small acts of kindness that ultimately led to larger changes within their communities. Each shared experience reinforced deeper connections among those present. They recognized that they were part of something much larger than themselves. "Let's pledge today to be advocates for all creatures," Dr. Emily proposed as the meeting wrapped up. "Let's commit ourselves not only to caring for animals like Lila, but also educating others about their needs." A resounding chorus of "yes" echoed back in affirmation, a promise made amongst community members united by compassion. With renewed zeal spreading through everyone involved, like ripples in water, the spirit of advocacy took root firmly within hearts across town. From that moment on, Happy Paws Veterinary Care transformed into more than just an animal clinic. It became a hub for change, a place where compassion thrived and hope blossomed not only for animals, but also among humans coming together for positive change. As months passed into years, the bond forged during Lila's recovery continued weaving tightly together. Lives intertwined, each capable individual driven by passion, determined always toward nurturing life, regardless if human or animal alike. Creating better futures while illuminating paths once hidden behind shadows cast long ago. Ultimately, Lila remained a symbol of resilience, not only because she triumphed against adversity, but because her story inspired countless others to act courageously in helping those unable to speak out loud, reminding all present still today that love should always prevail against any odds stacked high along paths fraught with challenges waiting patiently ahead.